Nigeria has one of the world's largest youth populations, yet millions of young people face unemployment, limited opportunities, and a widening gap between education and economic reality. On August 20, more than 300 participants are expected in Bauchi for the 2026 WECARE Leadership Conference, built around one proposition: youth innovation and alternative solutions can become a pathway to nation building. But there are many conferences in Nigeria where many keep asking questions. The more difficult question is, what happens afterwards? What do we do to improve the life of ordinary Nigerians? Welcome to S24 Inside Dr. Jamila. It's really nice joining you on this desk, or you joining me to talk about what you will be doing in the next couple of days. Dr. Jamila is the founder of WECARE Center for Community Awareness and Empowerment Initiative. She's a development and strategic communications scholar and education policy expert, and the former Bauchi State Commissioner of Education. Big, right? And that's where the change begins. Again, welcome to S24 Inside.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Let's start with the whole picture of what drove you to want to start this, because I learned that this is the first edition, and you've been doing a lot in the development space before now. Why the summit and why now?
Yeah, so thank you very much, Halima. And I like the opening because, of course, we have this young population. If you compare the population of the youth and the general population of Nigeria, we constitute about 50-something%. I don't want to be, I wouldn't be precise if I call numbers now. So yes, and then we've had opportunities and we have advocacies around, give us the space, make these young people part of the innovation, part of the contribution towards building this country. And yeah, of course, you have also some concerns around what this youth population are doing, whether they are capable of being part of improving the country or building the country. So I wouldn't want to talk on the negative. I want to talk on the positives, because I am this, like you said, like you rightly said, I have worked with development partners, but majorly the good part of my contribution in the society has been in the academia, where I very much work closely with the young population. You see potential, you see talent. And what we need is that push for them to explore, to even blossom, to show what they are capable of. So we started the fellowship, what we call the WECARE Leadership and Impact Mentorship Program. This is where we bring young people, we give opportunities for young people to apply and interact through masterclasses and mentorship sessions on various topics, say leadership, policy, talk about communication and effective communication skills, talk about innovation, entrepreneurship, community development or community impact projects, career clinics where they should be able to identify areas that they can measure, so to say, in their profession, or areas that how they can improve in branding themselves when it comes to the potential that they have, and then showcasing that to achieve, maybe to just attain some opportunities that will come their way. So after doing that, and we saw the innovation that these young people have coming up with, we believe that we should have a larger platform where the facilitators, if you want to put it that way, and many people, because we have this generation of young leaders and even the leaders that are so passionate about youth innovation and youth development, to come together under the same platform, to converse and probably digest issues and come up with a better perspective towards leadership, because everything bounces back to leadership, how we define it, how we see it, how we internalize it. And that's the rationale behind
the whole idea behind it. So it's metamorphosed from convening maybe a mentorship session and also maybe impact projects to get to this place. You know, a lot more times people, context-wise, will say, we keep doing conferences, summits, events, and there is no much impact that they make. Why this time in Bauchi? That's number one. And number two, Bauchi's population is over 60% youthful population. And some, I think from the last statistics I saw was the younger people are between the age of maybe 15 to 21,
yes.
and they're the youngest. If
Yes.
you and I, considering that I've got affiliations with Bauchi as well, were to count the number of older people in Bauchi State today, maybe they're not up to 10% or 20% of the population. So why Bauchi now, considering the population, and why? Because there are conferences that have been going on.
Yes, you've already answered why Bauchi is the youth population in Bauchi is amazing. And honestly, these platforms that we are talking about, we keep on hearing that there are these platforms. Do we have these platforms far north? Places like the Northeast Nigeria, of course, you have platforms, probably investment summits where you have policymakers, the big people in the room, but who invites the young people? No. So we have to be intentional. When we are organizing this, this is intentionally for the young people. We don't want to see the old. We want to see the young, probably a few old to come. I don't want to call the old, I want to say experienced people to come and converse with them. So this is intentionally for the young people because of our youthful population, but because of the potential that we have in the Northeast Nigeria, precisely because when you look at the Northeast, you see potential of creatives, innovators, young people coming up with great ideas. All we need is that mentorship. And then I would like to also come back to the fact that, yes, we do have these conferences, but Nigeria is a population of 280 million. So we will have to keep on doing, if we will have more than millions of platforms that bring people together to inspire, to mentor, I think we should continue to do that for the collective building of this country.
You mentioned something key, that there are maybe big investment, because I attended the Bauchi Investment Summit last year, October, I suppose. And yes, there were policymakers, big people in the room, and there were youth. I remember Nur Khalil was one of the youth that spoke on the stage at the day, and we saw the impact of giving young people opportunity. What would make this one different?
Yeah, so we're bringing in thought leader, Professor Atahiru Jiga, who actually was a leader in the academia, directly working with the youth population, understanding their nature and how to manage them as per academic institution is concerned. And then when you talk about leadership, he held a responsibility of
the INEC chairman.
Yes, the INEC chair. And also continue to contribute to the nation building. And you have other young people to be on the panel. And these panels are curated to speak directly to the youth. So we talk about initiatives that they have been able to achieve as young leaders in their respective positions. You have young commissioners, you have young innovators, you have people from the private sector. I don't know if I should mention name.
Okay, it's totally fine.
Okay. So you have Professor Atahiru Jega, who is going to give the keynote speech, and I mentioned about his potential in terms of why we choose Professor Atahiru Jega to speak on the very theme of the conference. Then you have a panel where you have young people that have risen in their own different endeavor. You have commissioners barely 40 years, say 28, 35 years of age, to be on that panel to talk to us through their understanding of leadership and the impact they are making, and how this young generation can also imbibe those qualities to contribute to their community. You have private sector people coming to tell us about entrepreneurship and the innovations that they have been able to contribute to the betterment of this country. You also have young civil society people, for instance, who are pushing, asking for accountability and transparency. If we get it right in that angle, it's 50% of achieving impact in our communities, because yes, we have policies. Are we implementing them? Who is asking the right questions? So you have these people also on that platform. We also have a fireside chat, yes, where we're bringing very young people who have risen in their different endeavor. But in this aspect, we're not talking about position in government. We're talking about position in their different capacities as either founders of organizations or founders of innovation, you understand, or working even with development partners that are contributing towards development in different angles of life, to come and share firsthand experience about their leadership journey. And in this case, we are not asking them to come and say the achievements only. No, what inspired them? What were the challenges? How can How are they thinking in terms of what leadership is? Is it just attaining that position as the chief executive, or is it as contributing to their individual self? Because one thing is also to impact on yourself before you even impact to your community. Yeah. So this is what we are anticipating. At the end of the conference, we hope to come up with a communique. Of course, people will say, yeah, communique is, but what happens after a communique is just to give it to the media. No, this is us implementing as WECARE Foundation, as WECARE Center, as NGO. But then committing to follow up with individuals that made commitments for the leadership during the leadership conference. But then also ensuring that we are taking this forum of the WECARE Leadership Impact and Mentorship Program forward. Maybe scaling up the number of our fellows, like I mentioned, but ensuring that we are deepening the innovation of the young people, thereby giving them more opportunities. So we have invited private sector, you understand, development partners who are willing now. We have received emails already from organizations across Africa. Tesala Africa is in South Africa, and they're willing to give us 5 slots for the young fellows to go and intern in their organization. So this is a platform where we are not just coming to converse, but we are taking this further by continuing with the fellowship, but expanding on the fellowship by identifying probably the learnings from the maiden edition. Now that we probably fine tune it better, but then most importantly, providing platform where we will come together as private sector, individuals, public sector, to give platform for these young people to showcase their innovation.
So I think the most important thing for me in this conversation is the follow-up and commitment that you've made. It's easy to see all of these things. What are the strategies that you would employ to make sure that the follow-up actually amount to like incident to impact or conference to impact, if you call it that way?
We want actionable commitment. So if you come to say, okay, youth should do this way, what can you do? And this is going to be recorded and will be followed up. So we are not just coming to say, oh, we should give youth platform. What platform should we give? How do we give this platform? So when you make that commitment, who is best suited for providing that platform? And the person there should make a commitment to say, oh, so we are giving this platform for. So we are not just, I don't want to say that, okay, probably it is being done before, but I think this is the first time we will keep people to ensure that they give us in specifics what they think will be their commitment so that we follow it up.
I think we'll get back to the major conversation again on why you put emphasis on young people. Yes, we know that Bauchi population is over 50% youthful or young people, but at the same time, you've mentioned opportunities. When it comes to policy making, decision making tables, most importantly in Nigeria, young people are not given space on the table and they need to be on the table to make decisions. A lot more times, experts or older people would say that they've got no experience to steer the weight of the affairs of a nation or a state like Bauchi, but we'll get to that. We'll go on a short break. When we return, the conversation continues. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, it's so S24 Insight on S24 Television. Our guest today, again, is Dr. JAMILA DAHIRU, the founder of WECARE's initiative and also a former commissioner of education in Bauchi State. From the concept of this initiative, it looks like it proposes leadership dialogue, mentorship, youth innovation showcases, and interaction between emerging leaders and established decision makers. What puts young people at the center of nation building rather than simply demanding better leadership from those already in power?
Yeah, so we've been asking for opportunities, space, platform, and we've not been given. You mentioned experts have confirmed that the percentage of because I wouldn't want to say that we're totally out of sight. I believe there are others that have been given that opportunity and they're doing remarkably well. So I, for instance, was given that opportunity. A couple of others. The investment summit we spoke about was actually spearheaded by a very young, agile. Yeah. So yes, at the national level, you also have other people. You talk about Khalil, you know, when he even started at Kaduna and now in Katsina. Yeah, and then even the DG of Kaduna Investment agency.
And
yes.
now the I think SA to the governor of Kaduna.
Of course, and many people like that. We have. I've mentioned commissioners that will be on the panel. So yes, youth are not given enough opportunity to also showcase or contribute to the policy making, governance, you know, and other stuff. But then there's also a realization, there's also trust deficit in terms of the youth themselves asking or demanding for that opportunity. So there was a research by Africa Polling Institute about the National Cohesion Summit, right? And this research shows that people do not even trust in government. And so they rather will go their own ways, establishing their own conglomerates, you understand, and doing different things that they feel will contribute to themselves rather than being part of the government. In this conversation, we're bringing people that have governance experience, policy making experience to say that, okay, there are opportunities there. All you need to do is this and this, so you'll be able to give that space, or probably you will have. There are amazing governors, leaders that probably would just want to identify a talent and bring them in, but we also not forget the fact that politics play in some of these things. So even if you have the talent, that instinct of probably political interest is also there. So of course we have to get our people, the young people, involved both in politics and in governance so that they have all the opportunities or the advantages that maybe the people in the government will be looking out for when they are given those opportunities.
So I'm really big on what goes on after August 20th. And you know, I asked you about strategy that you employ to make sure.
Yeah.
So after 20th August, what will you use to measure whether anything actually changed?
So yeah, we're doing so many M&E initiatives that we have in place. We have the post and pre-event and post-event that we will use to understand the participants level of probably exposure to the issues that were discussed during the conference. I spoke about the communique, which we will follow up diligently, but then we also have initiatives that we are introducing during the conference, such as the fellowship hive that we talk about, that will be the ones to follow up to on the commitments. So through maybe their programming or their innovations. And then we also hope that we will continue with the leadership conference, leadership fellowship of the young people. So to say that they take the gospel maybe for
out there.
Yeah.
So should the public hold WECARE accountable for the commitment that
will be? Yes, we definitely have tools that we have developed that we will now use to record the commitments, which we will use to also follow up on the commitments.
Okay, so we should follow up on you. We're not just inviting follow the money to you, we're following you as well.
Of course, and thank God, follow the money is part of this initiative.
Oh, wow. So you've been inside government and are now working outside of it. Where is the bigger problem? Leadership, institution, or citizens?
I would say both.
Or the three? Because it's three things I mentioned. Leadership, institution, or citizens?
So when you say leadership, you mean the person as a leader?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
People in position of authority, maybe the government, maybe
honestly,
the minister,
I think all the
maybe
three.
The federal government.
Yeah, all the three. Because so you cannot get it right in one aspect and then get it right for all. You understand? So you have to have good citizens who are capable, who understand what they should demand, who understand what they should ask, right? And who will utilize what is given to them effectively. I don't want to give instances so that we don't take up time. Also, you have to have institutions in place, and not just institutions that are active, that are implementing what is demanded and what is right for the public and for the nation. Then you have a leader that have goodwill and the political will to implement. So all the three are very important.
Yes. So considering that your conference deliberately brings young people into the same space as government, academia, private enterprise, development organizations, and established leaders, do you think Nigeria genuinely give young people power or merely invite them into rooms?
I believe it's not enough. Nigeria merely invite them into the room, honestly. Merely give them the space to showcase. So because if you look at the percentage, it's not really something to take home. And in situations where we're given the space, we are also should I say, we are also limited because there is also the executive power at the realm. So definitely you have there's probably a barricade of where we will not cross. Yes.
There is a boundary.
Yeah, there's a boundary.
Let's say a boundary for young people to explore.
Yeah. So yes, it's not enough. And I think we are merely being invited to the table rather than given the space. But it is high time we begin to take up instead of asking that.
So you mean we should take it back?
Yeah, we should take it back. Yes,
okay.
Of course.
What should meaningful inclusion look like? You need to look at Bauchi in a bigger sense of it. 50 years of creation. For me personally, I've got personal sentiment, but let's remove sentiment out of it. For majority of people, 50 years, what is there to show for? Do you think conferences like this would make meaningful impact in nudging Bauchi State to go back to the potential? There are natural resources. I know there was Bauchi meat factory. There were a lot of things around development before now. But I think from maybe independence, there has been a lot. Sorry, not independence, democracy. There has been shifts and para shifts all over the place. Do you think this conference would shift the conversation around?
Yeah, this conference is one of the ways to shift that, to revive that about Bauchi. But the conference is not all about Bauchi. It's a national dialogue, but just that we're bringing it to Bauchi, looking at some of the unique things about Bauchi that you mentioned. But it's one platform that will actually nudge the leadership to see the need to including this innovative, young, very intellectual and talented individuals, give them space, give them opportunities, you understand, to showcase, to even realize themselves and also contribute to the nation. And we're not only talking about giving spaces in the government, because not everybody would be in the government, but opportunities through job creation, economic empowerment, and institutions of learning and showcasing their potential so that we take our country further. Yeah.
If you could secure just 3 commitments from government, business, and development partners after this conference, what would they be?
Yeah, so for the government to provide more opportunities, like I mentioned, give spaces. I would like to see in Bauchi, we have probably, let me go to the list. I don't want to mention the highest expectation, but the list is for us to open up spaces such as Kashim Ibrahim Fellowship, where the government intentionally groom young leaders who will now be institutionalized in the government affairs. You have people that understand what is public sector, what is public service, because we are not really doing that. I would like to see that coming from the public sector, from the development
partners.
Yes, I would like to see them involving more and more young people with innovative ideas, with potentials, allowing them to blossom and contribute to the country.
12 months from now, what evidence would make you say WLIMP 2026 actually succeeded?
When we are able to establish more of this fellowship across, and then we're able to do more of these conferences, and people or young people are beginning to ask questions, demand, and contribute by showcasing innovation, contributing to their communities and the country at large. When we have those commitments also ticked at the end of each,
you will call it successful.
We will call it successful.
And finally, to the young Nigerian watching who has talent but no connections, capital, or access, what can they begin doing today?
The first thing is to build themselves. Ensure that you understand yourself, you understand your niche. In doing self-awareness. But in doing that, you need someone to help you through the journey, like a mentor. So that's why I emphasize on the need for mentorship. So identify someone who will help you realize yourself, self-awareness, understand where you want to be. And please do not shrink. If you have anything, no matter how small, own it and show it. You never know who will see that.
Thank you so much, Dr. JAMILA DAHIRU. Our conversation shows that Nigeria does not suffer from a shortage of ideas. Its enduring challenge is converting ideas into institutions, opportunity, and measurable outcomes. The WECARE Leadership Conference says youth innovation can become a pathway to nation building. Its real test will therefore come after August 20, when commitments must become actions. Dr. JAMILA, once again, thank you for joining us on S24 Insight. I am Halima Abdul Rauf. Thank you for watching, and this is S24 Television.